Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. So this is going to be a bit of a different one. I wanted to talk a little bit about curation and some form of voting that I've been noticing lately that I feel like is kind of going way too far outside of the accepted scope of curation. So firstly, I wanted to talk about my own view on curation, what I deem to be acceptable and what I feel like at what point it may go a bit too far. All right, so I have some stake of my own. I have some delegation as well. My vote power, my vote strength, I believe, is somewhere around like 3, 4 hive per max upvote. And people that I vote are usually either on my feed with my own personal account. I haven't been voting much today, but like generally, of course, when users are posting about my own project, that's my bias kicks in and I want to reward that kind of content, even though we also do have like different accounts for that. But if it's also someone that I follow specifically, without going to the community feed, then it's I usually like to upvote it, and I think that's all right. Then we have like push token, which is all the rewards basically go towards rewarding shares, rewarding, like some tokens go out to the delegators. But the idea of, I guess this could be a good comparison to some of the projects I want to talk about later. Like, because a lot of people keep looking at push and they keep comparing to this when they want to do something similar, but they kind of miss the point of this project. Because like we do upvote these posts quite a lot. Recently, we've been having some issues providing liquidity. We use this account called NomNom to liquidate comments. This means like instead of people receiving the high power part of the rewards of comment and post rewards, we try and give them the full Hive amount instead. So this account basically just liquidates the rewards, and instead it always keeps the high power portion itself. So what it does here is it claims rewards. It knows which comment, which share they belong to. It sends it to Reddit, to the Reddit push account, and this one then pays out the rewards. 20% go to the author, 80% go to the sharer. So now if you were to open this, you would see that it represents a share. Somebody made the snap, and by the looks of it, it's the same user. They shared it in chess beginners. Here you can see it received 4 comments, 2 comments, well, 1 really. Somebody solved it, and for their attempt, or like for their share, we had curators give them a small vote here with push token. So that's basically what happened here, is that for his attempt at sharing this on Reddit to get some views to peaked to our ecosystem, they received some rewards. So that's one of the reasons we've been voting the push token accounts a lot lately, is because we're kind of low in liquidity, because a lot of people have been sharing a lot more on Reddit successfully lately, like very high traffic coming in. So we've been wanting to reward that a lot more to encourage that activity to continue. So the thing that differs with push, like I realize some people, they feel that author rewards should stay specifically or strictly towards authors, and projects like push and anything else, they should look for a proposal for the DHF. But I feel like this is kind of like an obvious thing that benefits Hive, and it's still at such a small scale that running a proposal maybe doesn't make a lot of sense. maybe it does, like, but people generally haven't, you know, they haven't been that much against it that they've downvoted it. And as you can see here, people are earning pretty decent rewards for the simple fact of sharing content on other platforms, which brings in people to our front ends. I'm looking for like a bigger reward here to see like an example of how, you know, how that benefits Hive. So let's take a look at this one. They received a pretty big vote. They shared a post in r/economics about US inflation. And here you can see that it was shared from ecency, which does track views. And you can tell on Reddit it did receive a lot of comments. Like people were discussing the post. And to be able to, I don't know why it became so laggy, but to be able to read the post that was shared on Reddit, obviously you have to go to ecency. And you can tell here it received over 4,000, almost 4,000 views on ecency itself. And on Reddit, I'm sure it had like a ton more impressions. So this is value, you know, people, this is generating value for Hive, because out of these 4,000 viewers, maybe someone wanted to also leave a comment in here. Of course, here in this case they didn't. No one on Hive even bothered to leave a comment. So, but as you can see from the Reddit thread, that a lot of people discussed the post there, which still, you know, it makes the content more valuable in its own way, and the potential that new people may start to register an account, like all kinds of things like that. But the other thing that's important with Porsche is that it's non-profit. Like when I first created it, all the tokens itself, like token is another, it's like connected with the project. It also gives people some rewards in the form of tokens based on how they do. So not only do they get Hive votes from the comment shares, but they also get earned tokens, and that's like based on how well they've done. So you can see, I think this was probably the post we were looking at earlier. So they were like the top sharer that day, so they received the majority of the 100 Porsche tokens that go to Reddit. We should probably increase this as well, the amount. And then someone else, you know, did good but not as great, and they received less Porsche tokens. You can see here 1 day ago, ecency, a few comments on Reddit, a lot of upvotes. And when you go to look at the post on ecency, okay, this one did not have a lot of views. That's surprising. Oh, okay, it just updated late. I don't know why ecency is being so laggy currently. Maybe it's my connection. Anyway, it has 70 views. It had 69 just before this, so obviously the views can be gamed by someone just constantly keep opening and opening the same post over again. But with the comment, with the Reddit share, you can kind of verify that, you know, this wasn't just gamed. People actually did come here and check this out. So that's the account I kind of wanted to bring up as an example here. So, okay, so what does it mean that it's non-profit? It means that I'm not, you know, I'm not paying myself for having come up with the idea and having created Porsche itself. Everyone from the very beginning earned tokens simply for sharing content. At some point we needed voting power, so we also gave out tokens to delegators. This is the wrong account, it's the Porsche token account, of course, but yeah. Like, it's only delegators and sharers who are earning tokens, meaning that if I want to earn some tokens, I have to delegate myself, I have to forfeit some of my own stake and curation rewards to help push out, or, you know, I'm not getting anything extra just for having come up with the project. Like, I'm delegating some to it right now, as you can see here, and some other people are also delegating to it. But point is that we're also delegating out some of the stake to some of the top sharers, and a lot of people are delegating and also earning tokens on a daily basis. You will be able to see it here. This is for the payouts. This is like a small claim drop we have on the website, and this is for the delegations. So aside from delegations, people are earning Porsche as well for sharing. Either way, like the only thing that Porsche has paid people directly for has been for development, for servers and maintenance. And as you can imagine, it's not something where like we're only upvoting people who are delegating to us. Make it like a quid pro quo thing where if we're earning more high because people are delegating to us, we give them back a vote because they're delegating to us. So it becomes like a win-win kind of situation where delegators are earning an upvote and we are earning more curation rewards because people keep delegating to us. Or, you know, we're not voting people based on how many Porsche tokens they hold. That's another thing that's important to note. So that's kind of like the problem we've been seeing with people starting these projects, where a lot of the idea behind it is primarily to just like vote whoever is giving them. This is probably my VPN, or like it's posted on eSensei, so that's why I couldn't load that. But yeah, so people are like, they're only voting on people who are directly giving them more rewards in Hive. And that's like the important thing, that it's Hive, like that it's the layer 1 token that is like the main use of the project. So like, let's say now, okay, let's for a little bit take an example at our delegation account for the Holosync project as well. So let's see now people who are delegating for us. If we now went out of our way to upvote these people with the Holosync account, like, doesn't matter what they're posting about, doesn't matter what, you know, like if I, or even like with my own personal account, if I went and upvoted this person constantly just because he's delegating to my project, or if I went and upvoted this person just because he's delegating to my project, same with, you know, this account, like all of these accounts, if I went and voted for them, he's posting only like once per year, but yeah, then that would become like a kind of like a, what's it called, like a biased, but also like a, I guess the opposite of conflict of interest. Because like, if I'm profiting from their delegation in some form, and I'm like giving them back some of that in the form of a vote, a guaranteed vote, then it's going to end up in this state where stake is all that matters, which we've seen with Steam, where the trending literally looks the same every day, because people are like, they're only getting votes back based on their how much stake they're delegating to a curation or like a voting project. And that's kind of like the issue I'm having with some projects on Hive. It's not too much stake, it's not a lot of stake, but it's still, you know, if people know who to delegate to and how much, it seems like it's becoming quite excessive to a point. And this is the account I noticed recently, which kind of like made me wanna make this video, is that if you look at the, like, let's look at the votes, for instance, first. Leo, I don't think, you know, I think they have like a curation project going on that isn't based on who delegates to them. I don't really know. The SBI thing, it's quite literally, if you send them Hive or something, they will continue to vote you up based on some criteria. I'm not sure how that works. It's some kind of like universal basic income, I suppose, the idea, but you still have to like pay for it. And I don't know about these guys, but like if you look at this list and try and remember some of the usernames, and then if you look at who this account is delegating to, you kind of get the idea that okay, they're either voting this account because he's delegating to them, or it may have something to do with they're voting this account because he owns some of their tokens as well. And this is like a big issue with for me at least, because this account is not being voted because of, you know, the content. I mean, there's probably nothing wrong with the content at all. Like, I could see myself voting this kind of content. Okay, maybe not now anymore at this amount, but it removes this kind of like drive of people to want to contribute and work on their account. And I'm not necessarily like, I don't know what this account really means or what it does. Like, the username is kind of confusing, it's in and of itself. But like, if they're getting votes just based off who they are delegating to, then what is the point of curation? What is the point of being able to like reward contributions to our blockchain in the form of, you know, providing content, being able to connect with people, creating an audience that consumes your content, and, you know, the whole proof of brain and the way that author rewards should be mined, and like how curators should be like curating content, it kind of goes out the window if you don't really need to bother to put in any effort with engaging, you know, having people read your content. If no one is reading your content, and like the comments are a bit not really real either. Like, most of the comments are just it's just like bot comments. This is actually like a real legit comment, I believe, and this one as well, so that's nice. 2 legit comments out of 3 posts. He's like giving himself votes with different projects here. A legit comment, like, they're still legit comments, which is nice. Like, I'm not trying to single out this account in and of himself, because there's many doing the same activity like he is. It just seems like the same few people always commenting. But yeah, like, my point is that if they're not out there, this is like a unique user. This is another unique user. Like, it's great that he's still receiving comments, but my point is that if this is all, you know, how they reward themselves, then it's mostly just his own stake coming back to him in the form of self votes. Because if the projects, like, the projects themselves are profiting off of his delegation, they are earning more curation rewards because of this. And in exchange, they're giving him votes so that he also profits from having delegated to them. So if it's a win for this user, if it's a win for the project, then, you know, how can it be a win-win for both of them? Like, who loses in this scenario, you know? And that answer is obviously everyone else on the platform, because they're not part of this duo, of this connection with the delegation and the votes, the guaranteed votes. So that's kind of my beef with this form of, it's kind of like a self-voting kind of thing. Like, you know, instead of voting for yourself 10 times per day, which would be obvious that, oh, hey, look, this user is self-voting comments 10 times per day or posting 10 times per day, that would like become obvious that, hey, something weird is going on there. No, people don't really generally post 10 times per day. And if they would then self-vote that as well, you would be able, it would be obvious to everyone that, okay, they're using all of their stake to only upvote themselves and not voting on anyone else. But by delegating to another project, they can still give you that 10 times, uh, like your own upvote in the form of 10x on one post. So then you only need to post one time, and you will still get like your whole vote back as if you were self-voting 10 times. So it's just another form of self-voting in my opinion. And at the same time you probably earn some tokens. And the weird thing about this is also that a lot of these projects rely on this. And that's like their main, business model is that people should delegate to them so they can earn more curation rewards, and in exchange they will get votes, guaranteed votes from them, while ignoring everyone else who isn't giving them, the extra curation rewards or some other kind of benefit. And that's kind of like also with the Zing account, for instance. That's what I wanted to mention earlier, is that while we do have a lot of delegation, we don't vote people based on if they're delegating or not. And we don't even, like, a lot of our votes, as you can see here, are being basically spent on the HBD funder comments, because there's not enough content like being posted in our community, since there's no game yet, to be rewarded. So we're not even like, forcing people to comment, to vote, to post in our community, with like trying to like, entice them with upvotes that, oh hey, if you post in our community, we'll give you votes, we'll give you guaranteed votes. And like we literally just curate based on the content itself, like the effort that went behind it, things like that. And that's more project I think should strive for that, instead of guaranteeing votes to whoever is delegating to them, because that's just going to end up in a really like very bad way, where stake is all that matters. New users aren't going to get any curation. People are not even going to bother like looking for them to give them some like a head, like like a good start into their Hive journey. So I don't know, like that's kind of what I wanted to bring up today. And yeah, like I mean, auto votes and some vote trading here and there are pretty, what's it called, they're common. Like it's not much that we can do to stop that. There is a lot of like vote trading as well, instead of just these delegate to this project to get 10 times self votes or guaranteed votes just because you're delegating to them. So I kind of just wanted to talk about a little bit about that, because I'm seeing a lot more accounts that was just like one, as I mentioned, that was just one example of someone getting a lot of auto votes from the same users, and the link between them being that they're delegating to those projects, earning their tokens, giving them extra curation rewards, and in exchange getting high rewards as long as they post every day. That's also why you kind of see them post so frequently, because they have their guaranteed vote waiting for them. And there's nothing wrong with guaranteed votes and auto votes either, in general, or in this regard. Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't post every day, but they should come because of the content you're posting, of your contributions you're putting into the platform, of the the proof that people are consuming your content. It should come in from many different angles, other angles, where it's it's about you, it's about what the effort you've put in, it's about what you're doing on Hive in general, the value you're providing, and not just using your own stake to get extra author rewards, because that kind of just defeats the whole purpose of curation, in my opinion. Anyway, I've had some music in the background. I haven't even listened to it myself, but hopefully it hasn't been too annoying. I just thought I'll make a quick video about this now that I've started my new YouTube channel, and I kind of wanted to like try and post something every day, maybe Most days it's not going to be something great. But this one was a bit, starting off with some unique things to post into the YouTube account, try and see if I can get past the threshold to monetize my account. If it would be possible, that would be pretty cool. I could maybe get some extra Hive out of that. Anyway, thanks for listening. Let me know what you think about this. Am I just rambling on and ranting about some random thing that no one cares about because the price of Hive is so low right now? Or do you see this as a problem that's kind of getting like bigger and bigger, and maybe we should start to act and at least like discourage the voters and these form of like quid pro quo kind of, delegation slash voting, self-voting systems. Anyway, let me know what you think, and yeah, like I'm not encouraging you to go downvote that account now or something like this. It's not meant to single out that account, as I mentioned. It's just like a general kind of thing where it's becoming more and more. I'm seeing a lot more of that activity going on, a lot more projects being started the same way, and a lot more tokens on Hive Engine that rely solely off of this instead of trying to do, to build something that doesn't rely on the layer 1 token, where, most of the time if you're earning something, as I've said many times, if you earn Hive too easily, and if it's not like a challenge to try and go out there and put in the effort to become a consistent earner, then most of the time that means you're going to sell or get rid of that Hive quite easily because you earned it in an easy way without much effort. So if the rewards don't mean that much to you, if you haven't like earned them in the genuine ways that people should be earning them, then maybe it's not that valuable to you like it is to other people. So I think we could probably do better there. Anyway, let me know what you think. I kind of talked way too much already again. I need to just stop making these videos like 20 to 30 minutes long. Anyway, thanks for listening and see you next time.